Even the darkest shadows vanish beneath the brilliance of a rising sun. But remember, before that first light, the night fights its hardest. Chosen one, they never fought you. They fought the universe that stands behind you. Every attack, every obstacle, every whispered doubt, they weren't aiming at just a person. They were striking at the force that chose you, the light that refuses to dim. And oh, how terrified they are of that light. Like moths to flame, they can't help but swarm, even as they burn. Let's make one thing clear. They will learn the hard way that you are not a candle to be snuffed out, but a wildfire that consumes all fear. Before we dive deeper, take a second, like and subscribe to this message. This is how we spread the truth, how we awaken more chosen ones like you. When you engage, it tells the universe, and yes, even YouTube, that this message matters. The more of us that rise, the harder it becomes for the shadows to hide. Now, listen closely. This message found you not by chance, but because you've crossed a line that most don't even see. You didn't just survive, you surpassed the ultimate test without even knowing it. While you were doubting, while you were worn down, while you questioned your worth, you were winning. The universe doesn't always shout when the test ends. Sometimes it whispers, and this is that whisper growing into a roar. See, the thing about being chosen is that it isn't soft. It isn't a gentle title. It's a firebrand. It's a warning to your enemies that no matter how they push, you rise. Being chosen haunts them. It reminds them that no amount of scheming, no amount of chaos can break what the universe has built. You carry a frequency they can't match, a pulse that shakes foundations. And let's address that lingering doubt you've had, the one that tells you you're alone. How dare you think that? How dare you question the power that carved your path? The stars aligned, the universe shifted, and yet you stood there wondering if anyone had your back. They weren't fighting you, chosen one. They were wrestling the cosmos itself, trying to block what was always meant for you. But here's the secret they never tell you. You can't block what's destined. You can only delay the inevitable. You've already crossed the threshold. That battle you thought would break you. That was the ultimate test. And without even knowing it, you surpassed it. You kept going. You stood when everything told you to fall. You outlasted the storm. And now the skies are clearing because of it. The blessings are not coming. They're here. The universe is already moving in your favor. This is more than just a feel-good moment. This is your rallying cry. The universe chose you, and that terrifies those who tried to dim your light. Your glow exposes their shadows. Your rise dismantles their illusions. You are the proof that no matter how hard they fight, the universe wins. So what's next? You rise. You align. You claim every blessing that was marked with your name before the storm even began. You walk this higher path, not with hesitation, but with the certainty that you are exactly where you're meant to be. Chosen one, the fight wasn't fair, but you were never meant to play fair. You were meant to win. And now, the blessings are here. And, chosen one, if this message is stirring something deep inside you, that's no accident. That's the call. Drop the number 77 in the comments if you feel that pulse, that quiet knowing that you've crossed the test without even realizing it. This is how we keep the signal alive, how we let the universe know we're awake. Stay with me, because the deeper we go, the clearer it all becomes. And trust me, If you've truly surpassed the ultimate test, you won't just want to stay. You won't be able to look away. Let's dive in, Chosen One. The blessings are already in motion. Number 1. When they played with fire, they forgot you were the flame. They thought they were building your cage, but they were forging your crown. Chosen One, let's rip the mask off. Every scheme against you, every whisper in dark rooms, every backhanded compliment or silent dismissal, they weren't just attacking a person. No, they were taking swings at the very force of the universe that backs you. And that's the mistake they'll never recover from. Because when you play with the Chosen, you play with the system itself. They weren't ready for the backlash that comes from waging war against the one thing they can't control: alignment. They tried to dim your light, but let's be clear, your light is not a candle's flicker. It's the burning core of a star, and the brighter you shine, the harder they scramble to shield their eyes. It wasn't just pettiness, wasn't just envy, it was fear. Fear of what happens when someone like you steps into their true power. And trust me, that fear is justified, because now the universe is flipping the script. But let's pause, because I hear the doubt rattling around in your head. If I'm so chosen, why did I feel so alone? Why did I question myself so much? Let me answer that with brutal honesty. How dare you? How dare you doubt the force that's kept you upright when the world tried to knock you flat? How dare you question the process when every inch of your path was lined with battles designed to sharpen you, not break you? See, you weren't just being tested, you were sitting in the silent tribunal of your soul. Every sleepless night, every quiet decision you made when no one was watching, that was the real battleground. You thought those moments were small, maybe even meaningless. But that's because you didn't know the universe was listening in, watching, taking note. The tiny choices that no one applauded, those were your loudest victories. When you chose patience instead of rage, when you held your ground instead of folding for comfort, those were the moments the universe wrote your name down in the stars. And the people around you, they were pawns in the grand design. Some were there to poke at your weaknesses, to make you doubt your own reflection. Others fed you confusion like poison, hoping you'd sip it long enough to silence your own voice. But all of it, every last word, every last act, was part of the test. And here's the kicker. You passed it without even knowing. That's the beauty of it. While they thought they were breaking you down, they were actually building the proof that you could never be broken. And now, Chosen One, you're standing on the other side of it. While they're still playing games in the mud, you've been raised up by the very universe they tried to fight against. Let me give it to you straight. They weren't fighting you. They were wrestling the alignment of the cosmos, trying to mess with the current that carries you forward. But here's what they never understood. You can't outplay the system. You can't reroute the stars. You can only delay what's already destined. They stood in front of the tide, thinking they could hold it back with bare hands. But the wave is here, and it's crashing down. And yes, I'm going to scold you again. Stop doubting your light. Every time you question whether you're enough, you disrespect the power that's been moving mountains for you behind the scenes. You've surpassed the ultimate test without realizing, and the blessings are already coming. This isn't the part where you shrink back into silence. This is where you rise, louder, bolder, brighter. Remember this, they thought you were the spark. They didn't realize you were the wildfire. They brought their petty battles to a force they couldn't comprehend, and now they're scrambling, choking on the smoke of the fire they started but could never control. So, Chosen One, stand tall. The universe didn't just choose you, it armed you, and the ones who tried to shake you. They were never your real enemy. They were lessons dressed as people. They were the proving grounds. You made it through. You surpassed the ultimate test. Now, the blessings are not just coming. They're already unfolding. Let the universe finish what it started. Number 2. The furnace that forged you. They called it punishment, but it was preparation. They thought burying you would be the end, but they forgot you were a seed. Chosen One, let's drag the truth into the light where it belongs. You've asked yourself 1,000 times why the road has been so brutal, why every step forward felt like a fight for air. Why was peace always something you had to defend like a soldier holding a line? Why did the wins come late? And why did they cost so damn much? Here's the raw truth. They thought they were punishing you. Life, people, circumstances, they all looked like they were designed to break you down. But the universe had other plans. This wasn't punishment. This was preparation. They buried you under doubt, fear, delay, and disappointment. But the joke's on them. They forgot the seed doesn't die in the dirt. It grows roots. While they were waiting for you to fade, you were growing into something that could not be touched. Something untouchable. That fight you've been in. It was never just about survival. It was about becoming. Let's get real about it. Easy roads don't build warriors. Comfort doesn't forge leaders. And the universe didn't choose you for easy. It chose you for something bigger. Something that requires steel in your spine and fire in your soul. So yeah, you struggled. You fought battles no one saw. While others were getting applause for taking baby steps, you were walking through hell's front door with no fanfare, no witnesses, no hand to hold. And while they celebrated their small wins, you were building something bigger. Endurance. Endurance when no one cheered for you. Endurance when the plans crumbled, when the door slammed in your face, when the people who claimed to care turned their backs. That wasn't the universe ignoring you. That was the universe training you. You see, blessings without preparation are curses in disguise. What good is a kingdom if the king or queen can't hold the crown? What good is power if you crumble under pressure? So the universe turned the pressure up. It delayed your plans, not to deny you, but to strengthen the hands that would one day carry more than you imagined. While you were stuck in the waiting room, you thought you were wasting time. But in truth, you were in the forge. You were being reshaped. Every delay, every setback was a hammer strike, molding you into someone who could hold the weight of what's coming. But I know what's been creeping into your mind, those doubts. You've questioned it all, haven't you? Why me? Why so hard? Why can't I just have peace like everyone else? And here's where I come down hard. Stop comparing your battle to their playground. You're not here for their small wins. You're here for something greater. And the price of greatness is struggle. The tax on the chosen is that the universe won't let you settle for less. The people who called you naive, the ones who labeled your dreams as unrealistic, let's not even pretend they were acting out of wisdom. They were speaking from fear. Fear that you might rise higher than they ever dared to climb. Their words weren't warnings. They were chains, trying to keep you in the same small box they locked themselves into. But you snapped those chains, one by one. You began to see them for what they were. Their doubt wasn't about you, it was about their own limitations. And slowly, something inside you started to shift. You stopped playing small. You stopped shrinking yourself to make them comfortable. You stopped apologizing for the size of your dreams and the fire in your chest. You started showing up as who you really are, unapologetically chosen. That's when the game started to change. Not outside, but inside. The real war was always in your mind. It wasn't about the world's resistance. It was about whether you'd let the world talk you into shrinking. And once you stopped listening to that noise, once you took the wheel back from fear and handed it to the power inside you, everything around you started to shift. Little blessings began showing up, tiny signs that you were on the right track, just enough to remind you that the universe was watching, waiting for you to stand in your truth. Peace crept back in, not the fragile peace that comes from avoiding conflict, but the deep, unshakable peace that comes from knowing who you are and what you're here to do. Momentum built like a storm gathering strength on the horizon. And this time, you're ready. Ready because the struggle prepared you. Ready because the trials carved out the space inside you to hold what's coming next. This isn't the same version of you that started this journey. This is the forged version, the one who's been through fire and came out untouched by the flames. The ones who doubted you, they'll see. They'll watch as the universe lays the table you were always meant to sit at, and they'll realize too late that every stone they threw became the foundation of your throne. So, chosen one, hear me clearly. What you went through wasn't punishment. It was preparation. The universe made sure that when the blessings came, you wouldn't drop them. You wouldn't fumble. You'd carry them like a crown. Because now, you've earned it. You've got the strength, the endurance, the clarity. This is your time. The blessings are not coming. They are here, knocking at your door, ready for the hands that were built to hold them. So open the door, chosen one. Open it wide. Number 3. The moment they realized the storm was on your side. They thought the silence meant you were finished, but the silence was just the sound of the universe aligning in your favor. Chosen one, here's where it gets deliciously ironic. While they were plotting, mocking, doubting, while they whispered behind your back and waited for your collapse, you crossed the threshold, quietly, powerfully. Without even realizing it, you passed the ultimate test they didn't even know existed. The universe, the great orchestrator of all things, took notice. Not because you shouted or fought for recognition, but because you stood your ground in the shadows. You endured. You kept showing up. But let me hit you with a hard truth. They didn't think you'd make it. They bet on your breaking point. They banked on your collapse. That's why their disbelief will be the sweetest sound in the room when they watch you rise. Because while they thought you were standing alone, the universe was moving in silence, rearranging the stars to clear your path. And now, everything is aligned. This is divine alignment, and it's brutal in its beauty. There's no fireworks, no loud fanfare. The universe doesn't throw a parade for the chosen. It doesn't need to. The proof is in the shift. It's in the weight you suddenly realize is gone. It's in the way your spirit feels lighter, clearer, like the fog has lifted, and you can finally see what's been there all along. You won't get a grand announcement, But here's what happens. Doors that were bolted shut swing open without you touching them. The same opportunities you once chased. They start showing up uninvited, begging for your time, your energy. The people who once ignored your light, who pretended not to see you, now they feel the pull. They don't even know why they're drawn to you, but they are. That's the power of alignment. It makes even your enemies respect your presence. And the doubters? Oh, they'll watch, in silent disbelief. Some will clap half-heartedly, others won't have the strength to look you in the eye. But they will witness, because you didn't prove yourself to them. You never needed their validation. You proved yourself to something far greater. You proved yourself to the system they tried to fight. The alignment of the universe, the rhythm of life itself. And once that alignment clicks into place, there's no stopping it. But let's answer that voice, still whispering in the back of your head, the one asking, am I really ready? Is this truly my moment? That voice, silence it. How dare you question the process after everything you've survived? The silent tribunal of your soul examined you. Every trial, every tear, every moment you stood when you could have fallen, it was all part of the assessment. And now the verdict is in. The universe didn't just give you a pass, it found you ready. Ready for what, you ask? Ready to carry the blessings, ready to hold the abundance, ready to step fully into the power that's been building inside you. This isn't about small wins or temporary success. This is about overflow. This is about rising so high that even the ones who once ignored you can't deny it anymore. But let's get something straight. This isn't a reward. This is a response to your endurance, a response to the fact that you didn't fold, that you kept walking even when the ground beneath you shook. The universe is responding to you. And when the universe responds, nothing and no one can block what's meant for you. And it's not just about money or status or recognition. It's about alignment. When you're aligned, everything flows. The right people, the right moments, the right opportunities, they all come, not because you chase them, but because they belong to your path. They were always meant for you. They were just waiting for the moment you were ready to hold them without crumbling. Look around. The signs are already here. Small shifts, quiet blessings, momentum building. The storm you thought would drown you, it's pushing you forward now. The winds have changed direction. You are not the same person who entered the fire. You've been refined, hardened where you needed to be, softened where you had walls. You're whole now, and whole people attract whole blessings. And I know, chosen one, you've been conditioned to expect the fight. You've been trained by struggle. You know how to survive. But now, you need to learn how to thrive. Stop bracing for the next hit. Start opening your arms for the abundance that's flowing toward you. This is a new season. The rules have changed. The universe isn't testing you anymore. It's rewarding you. The doubters won't understand it. Let them sit in their confusion. Let them wonder how you rose without their permission. You don't owe them explanations. You owe yourself gratitude. Gratitude for surviving, for enduring, for holding the line when everything in you wanted to let go. Chosen one, this is your time. The alignment is real. The blessings are here. Not just coming, they are here, now. You've crossed the threshold. The universe has spoken. The verdict is clear. You're chosen. You're ready. and your rise is inevitable. Number 4, the chains were in your mind, and you were the one holding the key. They built walls around you, but it was your belief in those walls that kept you trapped. Chosen one, let's rip the veil off the biggest lie you've ever been told. The obstacle, the thing that felt like a mountain standing between you and everything you've ever wanted, was never real. It wasn't the betrayal, the heartbreak, the failure, or the doubters. None of those things had the power to hold you back. The true enemy, it lived inside your head. It was the voice that whispered you weren't enough. It was the belief, not the event. They tried to convince you that the problem was outside of you, that it was the toxic person, the dead-end job, the missed opportunity. But let me hit you with the truth that slices through all the noise. Those were just triggers. The real weight, the real chains, came from what those things awakened within you. That betrayal. It hurt because it echoed a deeper hidden fear, that maybe you were unworthy of love, of loyalty. That rejection, it stung because a part of you believed you were destined to fall short, that your dreams were just too big, too unrealistic. And the doubters, the ones who mirrored back the lies you already told yourself, they weren't your real problem either. They were echoes, amplifying the lies you'd been feeding yourself. You've heard them, loud and clear, haven't you? You're not enough. You'll never make it. Be realistic. But here's the thing, their words only had power because a piece of you agreed. So let's be brutal for a second. How long did you let those lies live rent-free in your head? How many times did you pull back, play small, shrink into silence because it felt safer to believe them than to challenge them? They didn't have to destroy you. You were doing their job for them, keeping yourself trapped in the stories they wrote. But chosen one, their role was never to destroy you. They were there to reflect the illusions you needed to confront. Every doubt they threw at you, every time they underestimated your power, it was a mirror, forcing you to see the beliefs that needed to be broken. This was never about proving them wrong. It was about proving yourself wrong, about confronting the parts of you that secretly nodded along with the critics and the cowards. And that's where the real awakening begins, when you stop looking outward, hunting for someone to blame, and turn inward to face the lies you've been dragging around like dead weight. You peel back the layers. You see how the world tried to shape you, how childhood wounds, heartbreak, and society's rules planted those false seeds in your mind. Maybe they told you not to trust your instincts. Maybe they convinced you that abundance was only for them. Maybe they made love feel like a prize, always just out of reach. But the truth, those were never facts. They were illusions, smoke and mirrors, stories sold to you by people who didn't know better, who were trapped in their own cages. And because you believed them, they became your reality. But here's the beauty of illusions. They can't withstand the light of truth. The moment you start questioning them, really questioning them, they begin to crumble. Don't get it twisted, though. Breaking free isn't clean or easy. Those around you, the ones still chained to their illusions, they'll try to hold you in place. Not because they hate you, but because your freedom threatens their comfort. They'll throw logic, guilt, fear at you like anchors, hoping to drag you back down. But remember, that's their discomfort, not your truth. And yet, here you are, You kept going. You pressed on when they wanted you to stop. You peeled back the layers of false beliefs, even when it hurt. You challenged every thought that told you to play small. You changed your habits, changed your mindset, and somewhere along the way, you realized the so-called obstacles that felt impossible were never real to begin with. Those chains, they were made of smoke. Those walls, they were paper thin. The moment you stopped feeding the lie of unworthiness, the illusion lost its grip. Suddenly, everything that felt heavy became weightless. The path you thought was blocked cleared itself, and you stepped onto it, not timidly, but boldly. Even the doubters, the ones who couldn't understand your journey, they had to step back. They saw your rise, even if they couldn't explain it, because your growth became undeniable. Not because of luck, not because someone handed you anything, but because you faced the one enemy no one else could see, your own limitations, and you crushed them. Now, with the illusion shattered, what's left? Space. Space where doubt used to live. Space where fear once held court. And what's rushing in to fill that space? Blessings. Truth. Expansion. You're no longer bound by the false stories. The ceiling is gone. The cage is gone. You've outgrown the limitations you once accepted as law. And standing here now, there's nothing between you and the open sky but your own courage. So, chosen one, take the leap. Own the sky. The obstacles were never real. The chains were always in your mind. And you've just proven you were the one holding the key all along. Number 5. The universe was playing chess, while they thought you were stuck in checkers. While they watched you stumble through the chaos, the universe was positioning you for a victory they'll never understand. Chosen one, let's pull back the curtain on what's really been happening in your life. Some people, the small-minded and the short-sighted, will tell you life is random, that it's nothing but accidents, coincidences, a bunch of unrelated events thrown together without rhyme or reason. But deep inside you, you've always known better. You've felt the pull, the nudge, the quiet voice that whispered, "This isn't just happening to me, it's happening for me." They looked at your struggle and saw chaos, but you sensed it. Every detour, every heartbreak, every door slammed in your face. None of it was by accident. It was all part of a hidden plot, a strategy so precise, so intentional, that it only makes sense now, standing here at the edge of your breakthrough. The universe wasn't punishing you, it was preparing you. You've been part of a game they didn't even know existed. While they were counting wins and losses on the surface, the universe was playing a long game with your soul. Every delay was a setup. Every disappointment was a redirection. What felt like closed doors were reroutes to better rooms, bigger stages. But you couldn't see the whole board yet. You only felt the frustration of the moment. You were walking blindfolded through a maze the universe had designed just for you, with traps and turns that felt like setbacks, but were actually building your strength, your endurance, your vision. This wasn't just life happening. This was a spiritual conspiracy. The universe had a plan, and you were the key piece on the board. Remember those moments when you felt like you were barely holding it together? When it felt like everything was falling apart and you questioned if you had any fight left? That was the heat of the forge. That was the divine test. And the reason it was so brutal, because your purpose isn't ordinary. Your calling isn't small. Souls like yours, souls that carry light, don't get an easy pass. They get refined. Let me hit you with this. The universe doesn't invest this much in people who aren't meant to shift the world. It doesn't waste pressure on those who are content to stay in the shadows. No, it focuses its energy on the ones brave enough to carry more, brave enough to hold truth, brave enough to walk into the fire and come out transformed. To the outside world, it looked random, strange twists of fate. Maybe they called it luck when things started turning around for you. But you and I both know better. This wasn't luck. This was choreographed chaos. Every move, every twist, every closed door was designed to get you here. And now that the dust is clearing, you can finally see the fingerprints of the universe all over your life. That rejection, it wasn't a loss. It was a redirection. That heartbreak, it wasn't to break you. It was to break you open so you could hold more light, more love, more purpose. What felt like chaos was actually a cosmic blueprint unfolding. The universe was never reacting to your life. It was orchestrating it. But let's address the twist that always catches people off guard. The universe? It rarely hands you the full map. It never shows you the end game. Why? Because if you'd seen the full picture from the start, you'd have tried to skip steps. You'd have rushed through the pain, avoided the growth. You'd have tried to force the outcome instead of surrendering to the process. That's why the universe keeps it hidden, why it asks for your faith, your trust, moment by moment. It needs your decisions to be real, your growth to be genuine. It wants you to walk blindfolded sometimes, to rely on your intuition, your inner knowing, to trust the unseen, and trust me, your soul. It's been tuned in this whole time, picking up on the breadcrumbs, the signs, the synchronicities, the dreams that felt too vivid to ignore. While others called it coincidence, you knew there was something bigger guiding you. You followed that pull, even when it didn't make sense to anyone else, even when they called you lost or confused. And now, here you stand. The maze is opening up, the path is clear, and you can see what was really going on. This wasn't random. This was sacred design. The universe was plotting not just to elevate you, but to awaken you. And here's the best part. It's not just about you, your rise, your clarity, your healing. It shifts everything around you. You've become a light source in a world drowning in illusion. Your very presence changes the temperature in a room. You don't even have to try. Your journey, your energy, speaks louder than words. You've shown people what's possible when you trust the unseen, when you surrender to the process instead of fighting it. Chosen one, you've crossed into new territory. The illusions have fallen away. The truth is clear. You weren't just surviving. You were being elevated, prepared for a purpose far bigger than you imagined. You're no longer someone waiting for blessings. You're someone who embodies purpose, someone who walks in alignment with the design the universe has had for you all along. What once looked like chaos is now revealed as choreography. What once felt like loss is now seen as strategy. And you're standing on the edge of something magnificent. You've passed the test. You've outlasted the storm. And now, the reward isn't just success. It's alignment with your divine path. Number 6. The overflow was always coming. You just had to become big enough to hold it. They said you were lucky, but luck doesn't sweat like this. Chosen one, brace yourself. because now we're stepping into the part they never warned you about. This is the part where the blessings start to overflow. But let's not sugarcoat it. This isn't some fairy tale ending. This is the real reward for walking through the fire, for outlasting every storm they swore would take you down. At first, it creeps in quietly. A small win here, a forgotten debt paid there, an opportunity that fits you so perfectly, it feels like it was made just for you. And I know what's running through your mind. You question it. You wonder if it's just a fluke, just a momentary stroke of luck before the rug gets pulled out again. That's what struggle conditions you to believe, that good things can't last, that blessings come with strings attached. But let me tell you something hard and clear. This isn't luck. This is the first ripple of a wave that's been building for a long, long time. The wave you created with every choice to rise, every decision to stay soft in a world that tried to harden you. This is the echo of all that inner work, finally reverberating back into your life. And once it starts, it doesn't stop. The blessings gather speed, gather force. They come faster, fuller, and louder. One opportunity after another. A sudden offer that feels like destiny knocking. A relationship that doesn't drain you but fuels you. Creative ideas that flow like water. Financial breakthroughs that make you wonder how you even survived before. Emotional peace that settles into your bones so deeply it feels like you've been reborn. And those doubters, the ones who watched you struggle, they can't help but notice. They see the shift. They sense the expansion. And because they don't understand the game you've been playing, they'll call it luck. They'll blame timing, circumstances, anything but the truth. But you know better. You know this overflow was earned. It was born from your refusal to fold. It came because you chose to feel pain without letting it calcify into bitterness. You stood tall. You stayed open. And now the universe is responding. But here's where it gets tricky. Because after years of fighting for every inch, after being told not to expect too much, the flood of blessings can feel overwhelming. You start questioning if it's real, if it's too much. You feel that old fear creep in, whispering that this can't last, that it'll slip away just like before. Some of you even feel guilty for receiving, like abundance isn't something you're allowed to have. Like you have to apologize for your own light. Stop right there. Don't do that to yourself. This is part of your transformation. This is the stretch, the learning curve that comes with receiving without fear, without guilt. You've mastered how to survive, but now you have to master how to thrive. The universe has been holding back, not because you didn't deserve it, but because it was waiting for you to become strong enough to handle the beauty, the abundance, the power flowing into your life now. But let me warn you, abundance, just like struggle, comes with its own tests. Just because the storm has passed doesn't mean you get to drop your guard. The universe doesn't hand out blessings without expecting you to steward them. This isn't just about receiving. It's about holding, and holding without letting it twist you. Because as life expands, so does the temptation to drift, to forget the practices, the grounding that got you here in the first place. People will treat you differently now. Some will show up hungry for your glow, wanting to bask in your overflow without offering anything in return. This is when you have to stay anchored. Keep your heart rooted in gratitude. Recognize that yes, you did the work, But the universe, that grand force moving behind the scenes, helped carry you here. You didn't walk this path alone. And it's that awareness, that humility, that keeps the blessings flowing instead of letting them grow stagnant. Use your overflow wisely, not out of obligation, but because you can. Let your blessings be a bridge for others still stuck in lack. Share your wisdom, your light, your support, not because you owe anyone, but because this is how the rhythm works. Give and receive, expand and share. This is how you stay aligned with the pulse of the universe. Keep your spiritual armor on, even in abundance. Don't think for a second that the illusions are gone. They just change form. Sometimes they don't come as struggle. Sometimes they show up dressed as praise, pride, or ease. They whisper that you've made it, that you don't have to check in with yourself anymore, that you can coast. Don't fall for it. Stay watchful. Keep checking in with your soul. Let every blessing deepen your devotion, not inflate your ego. This is how you stay in the flow. You've crossed the threshold. The test you didn't even know you were taking is behind you now. And the universe? It's responding, not just with gifts, but with an invitation to live fully aligned, to stand in your purpose, to let your life be proof that the struggle was never in vain. This is your reward. This is your responsibility. This is your calling. Number 7, stay low to the ground while your crown touches the sky. The tallest trees weather the fiercest storms, not because they reach high, but because their roots run deep. Chosen one, now that the blessings are pouring in, now that your world is expanding, here comes the twist they never tell you about. Success isn't just about getting what you've been praying for. It's about holding it without losing yourself. You've walked through fire, you've shattered the illusions, you've risen through the trials that were meant to break you. But now that your world is blooming, the next test begins. The test of staying grounded while your life takes flight. See, you might have thought that when you finally broke through, when the doors started swinging open and the abundance began to flow, it would be pure joy. And sure, there's fulfillment, there's gratitude. But success carries a weight of its own. It demands a new kind of balance, one that no one talks about, one that will challenge you just as deeply as the struggles did. Opportunities are showing up like clockwork now. People are drawn to your light like moths to flame. Every day feels like the universe is handing you keys to new doors you didn't even know existed. But don't get it twisted. This expansion requires humility, and not the fake kind that shrinks or denies your progress. I'm talking about the real humility, the kind that keeps you connected to the truth that this rise wasn't all you. Yes, you worked. Yes, you endured what would have broken most. But let's keep it real. Divine forces moved mountains for you. The universe aligned circumstances, orchestrated meetings, whispered to you in dreams. Without that cosmic intervention, your story might have played out very differently. So while you wear the crown, remember who helped shape it. Let that truth keep your heart open and your spirit clear. Let it remind you to stay anchored, because with every level of growth, new faces will show up, some with genuine hearts, others looking to ride your wave without adding a drop to the ocean. Not everyone drawn to your glow is there to walk beside you. Some are just there to feed off the light. Stay kind, stay open-hearted, but stay sharp. Your intuition will tell you who's there to build and who's just passing through. Listen, set your boundaries. Boundaries aren't cruelty, they're protection. They're the walls that keep your peace sacred. You fought too hard for this space to let just anyone occupy it. But here's the harder illusion, the one that creeps in silently once success arrives. It whispers, "You've made it. You can relax now. You can coast." And that's the most dangerous lie of all, because spiritual growth doesn't come with finish lines. It comes with cycles. Every level brings new challenges, new distractions, new illusions wearing different masks. The moment you stop being teachable, the moment you stop checking in with your soul, you fall out of alignment. The universe elevated you because you stayed in flow with its rhythm, because you stayed humble enough to listen. Keep listening. Stay tuned into the source that brought you here. That's how you stay in flow. That's how you keep the blessings from becoming stagnant, from turning into burdens. Your rise isn't just for you. It's for everyone watching, everyone waiting for proof that the struggle leads somewhere. But here's the secret. Inspiration doesn't come from performance. It comes from authenticity. Let your life speak truth, not achievement. Let your growth whisper, not shout. You don't need to prove anything anymore. You are the proof. And don't get caught up in the applause. Authenticity doesn't need an audience. It simply is. Stand in that. Let your blessings flow through you, not just to you. Use your overflow to lift others, not because you owe anyone, but because that's the rhythm. Give and receive, rise and root. But never forget, the real reward isn't just the success. It's the relationship you've built with the universe, the connection that says, "I'm still here, I'm still listening, I'm still open." As long as you honor that relationship, as long as you stay rooted in service and remember where your power comes from, the expansion never stops. Let the world guess your next move. Let them try to predict your rise or fall, but they'll never get it right, because your alignment isn't bound by their logic. You're not just chasing success anymore. You're embodying divine flow. You're walking in rhythm with something greater. And in that space, nothing is impossible. Number 8. This isn't the end. It's the rise after the rise. They thought the finish line would be your rest, but it's only the start of your next climb. Chosen one, take this moment. Let it sink in. You've crossed the first threshold. You've broken through the phase that was built to test, shape, and transform you. But don't rush past this victory. Pause, reflect, look back, not just at the miles traveled, but at the layers of yourself you've shed along the way. There were nights when silence was your only companion, moments when doubt screamed louder than hope. Times you stood in the ruins of plans that didn't work out, wondering if you had the strength to keep standing. But here you are. You didn't quit. And that's the most powerful statement you could ever make. Now, from this higher ground, you can see clearly the version of you that doubted your worth, that questioned your strength, gone. Burned away in the fire of your own endurance. This triumph wasn't about proving the doubters wrong. This was about transcending the only thing that ever stood in your way, your own limitations. You weren't here to compete. You were here to evolve. You've outgrown the fears that once chained you, the illusions that whispered you weren't enough. They couldn't survive the heat of your transformation. You walked through the fire, not to be ruined, but to be refined. And now, standing in this sacred stillness after the storm, you can feel it in your bones. You're not the same. Where fear once sat, courage has taken root. Where confusion once clouded your vision, clarity shines through. And that old self-doubt that haunted you, it's been replaced with a grounded truth that can't be shaken. I am enough. I always have been. I always will be. You've passed the final test, the one that was never announced, but was always there. And with that comes a new power, a steady fire inside you. But this isn't just for your gain. This power is for the lives you're meant to touch, for the light you're destined to carry into places still covered in shadow. Still, even now, you know the climb doesn't stop here. Warriors don't hang up their armor after the first battle. They sharpen their swords. They stay ready, because illusions will return, dressed in new disguises, whispering new lies. But you'll see through them. You know their tactics. They can't fool you anymore. While some onlookers might try to minimize your growth, chalking it up to luck, timing, or coincidence, their words bounce off the shield you forged from perseverance, alignment, and divine timing. They don't know the depths you had to rise from. They don't understand the sacred orchestration behind your journey. The universe wasn't just testing you, it was preparing you. And now, it's rewarding your alignment. Doors are unlocking, not because life got easier, but because you've tuned yourself to the right frequency. You're not forcing anything open anymore. The doors swing wide because they recognize you. And as you move forward, the journey only deepens. You'll meet new mentors, connect with soul allies, and step into divine assignments meant for this next phase. The mission evolves, the terrain changes, but your resilience remains. You've weathered the storm. You've proven you can stand in the fire without losing your shape. From here on out, you don't rise from pressure. You rise from purpose. You move not out of survival, but out of intention. Looking back, you might wonder how it all shifted, how the chains of fear and doubt finally broke. But that's the sacred mystery. Transformation isn't fully understood while you're in it. It reveals itself in the rear view. What looked like a breakdown was always a divine setup. Every rejection was redirection. Every delay was preparation. The universe's fingerprints are all over your path. Now, with steady confidence and renewed vision, you step into the next phase, unshaken, unstoppable, fully aware of your divine identity. You aren't chasing purpose anymore. You're embodying it. You've become the very thing you were seeking. And while the journey is far from over, you know this for certain. Everything you need is already within you. So keep pressing forward, chosen one. Your story is only just beginning. The universe has more in store for you than your past ever contained. Stay faithful. Stay focused. Stay aligned. The path ahead is rich with revelation, and you were born for this moment. And as this chapter closes, remember, this is just the beginning of your rise. The universe is still moving in your favor. Like, subscribe, and drop the number 77 in the comments if you're claiming this energy. Share this message to awaken more chosen ones. The world needs your light. Stay aligned. Stay unstoppable.